If you're looking for the heart of Seneca Falls, you'll find it beating on Fall Street. But the place that was once the center of a small historical village is now a bustling epicenter of a large town, nestled against the Erie Canal and tucked away into the Finger Lakes.
You know everybody. It's very generational. You know the grandparents, the parents, you know the next generation of all the kids. To me, that's really important.
2 years ago, the people of Seneca Falls narrowly voted to dissolve the historical village and streamline government. Many worried this meant dissolving their treasured historical identity. If you ask them, though, they'll tell you this.
We're still Seneca Falls.
I don't care if you call it a town or a village.
Seneca Falls is Seneca Falls.
And our history is our history.
And as for that history,
Some of us like to think that we were the Silicon Valley of the 1850s. We had pumps, buttons, blocks, stove regulators. Hundreds of patents were made by people here in Seneca Falls.
Probably the most highly industrialized community in the state of New York.
but no one in town will deny that women's rights is where the most famous history lies.
This is where it happened. This is it. We absolutely owned the franchise for the very first time where women came and men came with a couple days' notice and said, you know, it's not right. Let's do something about it.
That was in 1848, when Elizabeth Cady Stanton, a deeply involved women's rights activist, brought women together to talk about their place in society.
So the history is here. It's unmistakable, and it permeates the village.
There's also a little Hollywood legend tucked into Seneca Falls.
Help me, Clarence! Get me back! Get me back! I don't care what happens to me! Get me back to my wife and kids!
Look familiar? That's because just about 20 years ago, some people in Seneca Falls started making a connection between their village and George Bailey's from It's a Wonderful Life. So much so that some started calling it the real Bedford Falls. The first light bulb went off with Fran Carasillo.
We started noticing similarities. That bridge looks awfully similar to the Bridge Street Bridge here in Seneca Falls. We had a gentleman who jumped from our bridge in an attempt to save someone else.
And then Fran was visited by a local barber with a secret about the film's director.
He said, you know, you're involved in all this attention about It's a Wonderful Life. I said, yeah. He said, well, you know, I cut his hair. I said, whose hair? He said, Frank Capra.
Everyone became convinced, and it's a good thing because that led to tourism. And tourism helped replace all the manufacturing that went away in the late 20th century in Seneca Falls. But as of 2012, the historic village is officially no more.
People wanted to see some consolidation, cooperation between the town and the village. They wanted something done.
And now that something has been done, new supervisor Don Earl is leading the transition.
When people come to Seneca Falls, they don't come to the village of Seneca Falls, they come to Seneca Falls. Doesn't matter whether it's called the town or the village.
But some are not so convinced.
Hi there, how are you?
Like Amy, who owns the town's only liquor store and has lived in Seneca Falls all her life.
Unfortunately, the deed is done. Now we all have to live with it. Good, bad, or indifferent, we all have to live with it.
We're just going to go on. But to me, in my heart, I'm mourning the loss of the title of a village. Just liked it.
But what we know for sure is that no matter what, you can't change the past.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right.
For NCC News, I'm Matt Johnston.
Attaboy, Clarence.